Rock Band 3 revamped from the ground up. My final thoughts when I think about the new game on this episode of Cena's Corner.
Cena's Corner. World's #1 rhythm game reviewer.
Rock Band 3 has been revamped from the ground up. There is everything about this game is new, and there's still people complaining that, oh, or certain things here looks like Rock Band 2. If you pay attention and if you listen, Harmonix already told you that. In a couple of little videos that's been up, they're all over the web. I think one of them's on my channel. If you go to Rock Band's Facebook channel, there's a lot of them there where they talk about how to revamp the game, and there are a couple of elements that they kept in the game from Rock Band 2. So if you're saying some things you think look Rock Band 2-ish, it's because they brought some of that stuff over. But for all intents and purposes, Rock Band 3 is a brand new game. The first brand new part of that, as you guys already see, is the overshell. The overshell being you see your band walking down the street, wherever they are, and there's a bar in the background wherever they're going. You have different cutscenes now throughout this overshell. Your band could be hanging out in a crowd. They could be walking to the limousine. They could be hanging out sitting on the railroad tracks, just to name a few. The biggest part of the overshell was the new menu feature. So now you have your individual menus. You can go and tweak your own stuff, turn on hyper speed, or select what character that you want on the fly, drop in, drop out as well. Okay, so I'm really liking the brand new overshell because it's polished, it looks good, and it does what Harmonix wanted to do with the characters. Since we've spent all this time, a lot of people making their characters. I have some friends that is obsessed with making characters. One of my biggest friends that is PMS Annex. She loves playing what she calls Rock Band Barbie. But the problem is when you're playing the game, you don't really get to enjoy seeing the creation that you made. So with the overshell and the cutscenes and things of that nature, you get to see your character outside of you playing the game. All right, let's hop into so we went to the overshell. Let's hop into the actual gameplay, a little bit of that. Now, the gameplay hasn't changed all that much with the exception of addition of Pro Mode, Pro Drums, Pro Keyboards, Pro Guitar, and Pro Bass. Now, the number one complaint that I'm continuously hearing, and is really annoying, is, oh, I don't like the new highways. They're just so skinny. I like the old highways. They were larger and bigger. You have to keep in mind, they just added essentially new instruments. So they added the keyboard. You get 4 people now at the bottom of a screen if you do this right. A total of 7 altogether. You can't have the lanes be the same size as they were in RB1, RB2. It don't work. So people need to understand that they had to trim the lanes a little bit. If you want to get keyboard and drums and bass and guitar all in that same line, you can't have big old highways. And so I think that argument should just be done with, and people just should live with the fact that the highways are changed. I do agree that at some point, and depending on what venue you're playing in, sometimes it does kind of overshadow, whatever's going in the background, fireworks or whatever. But a lot of people like myself, I don't look up the highway that far. I do look far enough to where I can see the next notes coming down, but a lot of the time you're just looking at right where the lane hits, okay? So I think the overall gameplay of the game is good. I think it's great. I think it looks good. You got new characters. They revamped from the ground up the character creation, so they all look different. You got different clothing, different hairstyles. Talking about me because the hairstyles people was having to fit on because they mixed up some hairstyles. We'll talk about that in a second, and so on and so forth. So I think overall, with the addition of Pro Mode and so on and so on, the gameplay is the same. However, when you go into keyboards, Pro Guitar, Pro Bass, it's a whole lot different. Instead of getting the gem notes, you get the actual chords for guitar. You get the actual white versus black. White versus black keys for the keyboard. On the keyboard and guitar and bass, you're actually playing the song as it was written. So you should be able to translate what you're doing on keyboards right to a piano and be able to play that song in that structure. All right, so talk about that. Let's talk about. I'm trying to test on these briefly just to go over a couple of them. Let's talk about the way that the songs are sorted now. Some people don't like it. I actually love it because the fact I can go in and say I just want to see all my downloaded songs, like all my downloaded songs. I can sort by artist. I can sort by name. I can sort by genre. I can sort by what has keyboard support, pro bass support, pro guitar support. All of this stuff is within your grasp, decades, whatever. So they made this slightly easier for you. Now, so that's just a quick overview of that stuff. Let's hop into some other stuff here. Before I go into the problems, I am going to tell you that I do still feel that Rock Band 3 is the greatest rhythm game that's been released this year. It constantly gets 9s, 9.5s. And on top of that, I should say congratulations to Harmonix, because Rock Band did make the Guinness Book of Gaming Records for 2010 because they are the most critically acclaimed rhythm game that there is. They've beaten out Guitar Hero with the number of reviews. I think they were somewhere around 9.5 average to about 8.5 or so for Guitar Hero. So congratulations to them. So let's hop into some problems. Like I said, the hair was an issue. There's a lot of hairstyles that should be on the females. That's on the men. I've heard this tenfold. I played with Annis a couple times this week, and that was her thing, is that the hair just don't match. Pink Pixie has already chimed in on the thread, and a lot of other people in Rock Band forum has chimed in on the thread. I do think that's going to be fixed in time. However, I don't think that that's at the top of Harmonix's list, just to be honest with you. There's other things I think that they should be concentrating on. There are several tracks that are broken in the game. Now, I haven't run into all of them, but I have run into one, which is a downloadable content song by Reba McEntire called Fancy. In Pro Drum mode, there comes a time in a section where you're actually just hitting a blue symbol, and all of a sudden my whole track disappears for about 3 to 4 seconds, and then all of a sudden my track comes back. I mean, literally, the whole track just vanishes. Now, from what I've seen, I don't lose streak, I don't lose my multiplier, but I have no track. That's just one. There's been other songs that people have also said that it don't work. So I think, though, that glitch is one of them that needs to be fixed. Calibration is a huge issue right now. I have never in Rock Band 2 had to recalibrate for every instrument that I play. I do now. If you watch some of the videos that I put up, my centerfold video, and here I go again on drums, my calibration is off. And that's because I totally forgot to go back in and recalibrate because I was playing guitar. My birthday party, even though my birthday was the 1st November, I had it on the 6th because it was a weekend. Harold, which you know him as the one only big H from Team Cena, came down with others, and he was even remarking that he noticed that the calibration was different between my guitar and the drums. The calibration issue is huge. That is one of the first things to be on their list, along with vocal. There's vocal chart issues too, as far as it goes with activations. Sometimes short activations work, sometimes they don't. I had somebody write me and ask me my suggestion because they wanted a professional mic. I told them what to go get. They got it. They loved the mic, but then they was wondering if it was the mic that was causing issues with activations, and it's not. It's in the game. I think a huge part of that is because of the fact that they removed the ability to control sensitivity on the microphone. Again, I believe that that is something that goes into the whole entire you can play 7 people thing, because they had to get rid of something. So since you have these mics that are just thrown in, if you're in 7-player mode, you don't need a controller. The mics are just automatically added. So to see how this is done, if you haven't done this yet, just go into all instruments mode by yourself, and you will see that at the very top, you automatically have a vocal chart. You can't get rid of it. So I think that's why we can't control sensitivity. That's just a few of the important ones of, I think, now a multitude of problems that Rock Band 3 had. I said in the earlier post about sensitive issues that I think that the beta testers should be fired. Now, I know a lot of people put this on Harmonix, and yes, I understand and I agree that the final product always goes through the developer. But from being someone who's been a Harmonix playtester before, I can tell you how thorough Harmonix really is with their playtesting. I mean, they have a part of the site that's mocked off just for you, and we have to log in so many times a day and a week to tell them what's going on. We all posted videos around so people can see what was happening with the drum kit that I was testing, and I mean the whole 9. How all of this slipped underneath the cracks, I don't know. But in every game, I guess, there's a bug somewhere. Harmonix takes a painstaking amount of time to come out with these games. Not picking on Guitar Hero, or any other franchise, but they're not the developers that came out with 8, 9, 10, 12 games in a year. They come out with one big major game, one big major change, and that's it. The final thing to touch on real quick before I give you just my final generalization of the whole thing, or my final opinion of the whole thing, is a lot of people was complaining about the brand new, what they call challenges mode. I always say this in every review, just about, I swear, is people never ever listen. If you go to the Facebook page of Rock Band, they actually just posted a video of behind the scenes talking about challenges. And that's what they thought. And there's a barrage of complaints. This is why I always say the rhythm game industry or the rhythm game community never gets anywhere, because when the developer gives you what you want, you complain. So people's complaining, I hate the challenges, I completed them all in a day, I like Rock Band 2 better. Well, they told you they were changing the challenges. They wanted to be a little bit more social. They didn't want it to have to, they trying to take out competing, if you want me to just be honest with you. That's what I think is going. They want this to be a more social experience where it don't take you 8 hours to get through the game. So you can play a 30-minute set list and be done. I really like that. You know, when my party was here and people come over, you know, like my best friend Jamie came over the other night and she goes, I can't play that many songs, so we did like a 20-song set list. We were finished. Okay, versus having to go through and list all this stuff and, you know, the way tour mode used to be. So I think that it is a lot better. Let's bottom line it, because I'm trying to keep this short because a lot of this stuff I already covered before. I still do think, as I said, that Rock Band 3 is the greatest rhythm game that's ever been released. I think it will take video game or rhythm game of the year, if I'm going to be honest with you. It still kept true to what Rock Band was. It didn't add any gimmicks. It stayed true to the music. They've even got some exclusive artists now with Pro Mode, Elton John being one of them. And so I think that when all this stuff is patched, people's going to feel the same way. Harmonix, just like Activision, I guess, and everybody else that makes games can't win. Because Harmonix came back with this game and gave you exactly what was asked for. You guys want a shorter list. We wanted to be able to learn to play an instrument. We didn't want to take 19 hours to play the game. And Harmonix did that, and yet people still moan and complain. So I guess they just can't win. I guess the last thing I forgot to touch on is now there's an issue with Pro Mode songs. Alright, so let me tell you this, guys. Yes, people's complaining because of the fact that you're going to have to go out and probably buy some of these songs. People's also saying boo to Harmonix because of the fact that they didn't go back and rechart all these old tunes. Here's the deal with that. When it came to drums, they already put that in. They knew how that was going to work, so that was easy. When it came to keyboards, guitars, and bass, they don't know how that stuff was going to work. They had to do all of that. You know, they worked on it for 2 years. So I look at it this way. It's kind of like what Bear and I was talking about on the phone the other day. He says, alright, so if you have a BMW and they come up with a new BMW that's got new stereos and new seats and new everything else, do you go back to the BMW dealer and say, hey, you know what, dude? I bought this BMW 2 weeks ago and you came out with this one, so I want you to give me the new one for free. It don't work that way. They're going to look at you and go, hey, look, you got it 2 weeks ago. Turn that one back in, and we'll see if we can work out a deal with you, but you're going to pay an upgrade if you want this brand new BMW. It's the same thing with Rock Band 3. You can't have brand new tracks if you don't want to pay for them. I'm just going to give it to you straight down the line. It's new technology. You know, people's like, well, they lied. They said it was all going to be backward compatible. It is. Every song you have is backward compatible. That means it works in Rock Band. They never said, though, that everything was going to be charted. Their exact statement was pro drums will be charted. That's it. Not keyboard, not whatever. I do agree that I've heard that the keyboard pro charts is supposed to be a lot more expensive, about $2 I think, than any other pro chart. I do agree that that should not be happening. They should be around the same price. But unfortunately, if you want to go play the keyboards on, you know, for play long time and they rechart that, you're going to have to pony up the dough and you're going to have to buy it. Or again, it's an option. You don't have to. A lot of people had roars over the Bon Jovi pack. Oh my God, I'm going to be buying these 2 songs. Well, I'm buying the whole Bon Jovi pack anyways. So to me, it doesn't make that big of a difference because of the fact that it's going to cost me less money to buy the whole pack, including the 2 songs we already have, than just to go and buy every other song but that one and then want to play pro keys or whatever the case is. Alright? So I guess, guys, that's it for me. I appreciate all you guys for chiming into my videos, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace, love, and keep rocking out. We'll see you guys next review.